Hi there, it's Nicole McWork with a layout and card featuring the Basic Gray Picadilly collection. For my layout, I took a whole bunch of die cuts and chipboard pieces to create the scene at the top of my page. And what I did was in my Silhouette software, I opened up a whole bunch of images and laid them out like you see here to kind of create my scene. And then I went ahead and cut them out of pattern papers from the Picadilly collection. Now, there wasn't really a brown that I wanted to use for the tree trunk or the signposts, so I die cut those out of the white paper. It's kind of a nice distressed white paper. So I'm going to show you how I customized my pieces and added a little bit of color to some of them, some of the things that I cut from the white paper. And what I did was I took some spray mists and added color. So I'm just going to take a couple of different colors of brown spray mist and add color to my tree trunk. And this gives a nice variation of color, plus a little bit of that distressing on this basic gray paper shows through once the ink has dried really good on this. So it gives my tree trunk a little bit of texture. I'm going to do the same thing with the die cut signposts that I cut out. I'm going to add some brown spray ink to those as well. Again, just kind of spritz those real carefully, or quickly rather, adding a pretty good coverage with the mists so that they're nice and colorful. Next, I'm going to take my little picnic table and I'm going to add a little bit of blue ink to it. Now, I wouldn't have had to, I could have left it white, but I'm laying it against the white fence, which I did want to leave out of that white paper. So I wanted this to just barely have a little bit of color to it so it pops off that white fence. Next, I have already pre-printed my journaling up there in the top right corner of my page. And I've already trimmed my background papers. And I have a photo collage as well. So I'm going to go ahead and adhere those to my page. Once I have all of that in place, I'm ready to start assembling the design using my die cut pieces. Now I die cut the grass from another one of the papers from the Picadilly collection, one of the solid distressed green. And you can see that I'm layering all of my die cuts. I'm layering them on some gray cardstock that I've die cut the same designs from. This just gives a really nice layered or shadow effect. So I'm going to add my little sticker strip here now that I've adhered all of my die cuts. And what I found was I laid this sticker strip down, but it isn't quite 12 inches, so I'm going to pop it off here in a second, and I did have to use a little bit of undo because it's stuck a little bit. And I punched a scallop border that I laid down first, and then I'll adhere that sticker border back down. And when I took it off with the undo, it was pretty wet from the undo adhesive remover, so I just kind of let it dry a little bit. And if you want to speed that up with a heat gun, you can, and your sticker will still have that sticky adhesive backing. So even though it's not quite 12 inches long, I just kind of centered it on my page there, and you can't really tell too much. Now I die cut my little picnic tablecloth out of another one of the pattern papers from this Picadilly collection, and I chose one that purposely kind of looked like that red check that you think of when you think of a picnic tablecloth. Center that right there on my little picnic table, and then I thought this little chipboard bird was just so cute, so I'm going to sit him right there on top of the table. These chipboard pieces have really strong adhesive, so before you commit to adhering it to your page, make sure that's exactly where you want it. Next, I'm taking some of these apple stickers from the Picadilly sticker sheet, and I'm going to just lay those there or adhere them in my tree. So it kind of looks like I have a fruit tree, which matches the journaling and the photos on my page. Just trying to figure out where I want to stick my little apples. Move them around a little bit. And I really can't figure out where I want to put that one. So I'm move that one around, and I'm going to grab, and I still don't like where I put that one. Sorry about that. Sometimes I move them around quite a bit before I settle on a specific place. I'm going to grab another one of the stickers and tuck it behind the grass next to the picnic table in between that and the tree. You can see how it really makes the whole little scene there at the top come together, mixing both the die cut elements and the chipboard shapes and the stickers. Because when I had laid all of this out in my Silhouette software and kind of in my mind, I knew that that top right corner wasn't going to have anything in it. And because the bottom part of the layout is so photo heavy, I chose to go ahead and print my journaling up there at the top of my page before I started assembling any of the design. And that fills up the top part of my page perfectly by doing that and adding my journaling there. Add a little bit of adhesive. I'm going to go ahead and finish placing my little signpost. I love how it makes it look kind of like a little backyard garden. And like I said before, these little chipboard shapes were what inspired the entire page. I knew I had these photos, but when I was looking at the collection pack, I thought, wouldn't those be cute to create like a little garden scene? And I knew I hadn't scrapped these photos, and I thought that this would be a fun way to get them scrapped and include some fun little elements from this collection in a page. Again, I'm going to take a couple more chipboard shapes and add those to the top of my page, and then the top of the design is pretty much complete. Move that one apple just a tiny bit. I had to be really careful because, like I said, the chipboard shapes are really sticky. I added just a little bit of glossy accents behind those after I was completely done with the page to secure those. Now I did add some real teeny tiny little mini brads to my signposts just to give them a little bit more of an authentic look and feel. So I just poked a little hole with a piercing tool and added a mini brad. Finally, most of the page is done, but I do still need a title. So I took some of the stickers from the collection pack and I'm placing them right over my largest photo there. Because it's more of a scenic photo and I'm not covering up anybody's face, and it's fairly a solid background except for the peach there, it's a great place to add a sticker title, and it also kind of keeps the photo collage from being so kind of stark or bare by adding a few little elements down there near the bottom of the page. So I'm using both colors of stickers to create my title. And that is my page. Next, I took some of the scraps from my layout and created this quick card. All I did was trim down this yellow piece of paper, and then I added a couple of punched scallop borders from another scrap of paper, also from the layout. Just adding a little bit of adhesive. Grab my other scallop border there. I love being able to use up the scraps from a layout to create quick cards. That way I feel like I'm using up all of my pieces, plus I have a card on hand when I need it. So I'm just going to put this all on a white cardstock base, and I did die cut a little tree branch there and leaves from pattern papers from the kit, and I think I'm going to take a little bit of this white pattern paper rather left over from my layout and trim it down just a little bit smaller and place that there next to my scallops. First I'm going to pop off this cute little bird sticker, and I'm going to set him on my branch. These are really fun little dimensional stickers from the collection pack by Basic Gray. Then I'll add some adhesive to my branch and attach that to my card. I did trim a couple of trim that white paper and adhered it there at the top and machine stitched it. Stamped a little greeting using a Hero Arts stamp. And my card is almost finished now. I'm going to go ahead, now that I have added my embellishments, I'm going to go ahead and attach this to my card base. I like to do any sewing or adding sewing on buttons or brads before I adhere it to my card base, so that when you open up the card you don't see any of that on the inside part of my greeting card. Now I am going to replace his little eye or cover up his eye with a googly eye. I love adding these to my cards. I think they add a fun interactive element to the page, or to a card rather. And then I'm going to take a couple of heart punches and punch just a couple of accents to finish off my card design. For more information on this card or layout, please visit Basic Gray's blog at www.blog.basicgray.com or my personal blog at www.nicolemcguirk.typepad.com. Thanks for watching.